stories on our website at sheddingthebitch.com. Whatever the bitch is that's holding you back from living your life to the fullest, it's not worth giving up the riches in life that you deserve. So call in now and let Bernadette Bose know what's holding you back. 818-572-2910.
Good day, good day, good day, everyone. Happy Tuesday. It's March 24th. Can you believe it? My Lord, the first quarter is already gone. And I am coming to you live, not only via blogtalkradio.com, which is our usual format each and every Tuesday, but with all of this isolation, I just thought at the very last minute, as a matter of fact, so if my hair's not quite dry and my makeup's not quite on right, I decided to broadcast also through Facebook live stream. So if you're out there and you just want some connection as we talk about creative ways you can turn your talents and your skills into money, into income, even into profits. And I feel it's just a really important subject right now because a lot of people that I talk to people on a regular basis and they're just really in their head. They're really kind of foggy and they're just not able to kind of put pieces together to kind of understand, all right, so if they are out of work, not just working from home, but they actually lost their income, what can they be doing? And actually, I have to credit my beautiful niece, Ashley Marie, for this idea because she was online, and I'll share this in a couple minutes, but she was online doing something. And I said, you should offer this out to, your community and beyond because people would love it. And therefore, that gave me the idea that although I work day in, day out with individuals on getting creative, thinking outside the box, thinking inside the box, thinking without a box, but really making sure that they're taking advantage of opportunities like right now, which we'll also get into more deeply, because there is a huge opportunity for you. If you are thinking thriving, if you are thinking abundance, if you are thinking positive, if you're thinking, I can do this no matter what, then this is a huge opportunity for you and you don't want to miss it. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's program. But before I get into all that, I do also want to just send out my prayers, send out my love, send out my virtual hug. I'm wrapping each and every one of you individually and together into a hug of compassion and understanding and support. So I just, we're all in this together. I know you've been hearing that a lot and you're like sitting in your own, 2x4 without any human connection maybe, or you're, got the kids running around, you just want to smack them upside the head, or your spouse or partner is driving you crazy. We all just need to breathe and recognize that the more we can kind of open up our minds, open up our hearts, open up our spirit and our attitude into positivity and motivation and energy and focus and clarity, the quicker we can get through this. So, but I do want to send all of my love and prayers. And for those that have gotten ill, and I know a number of them, and I'm not going to be sharing or disclosing just to respect privacy, but, they're doing their parts as well to ensure that they're isolating and quarantining and doing what they're doing. But I need to send out my hugs and kisses and love to each and every one of them who is dealing with it. It's one thing to be afraid of getting it, and then, then you're afraid of you've got it. Now what? But let's listen to the medical experts. Let's listen to the professionals, not necessarily anyone else. That is incredible to be advising you and motivating you and supporting you. And I wouldn't get into any of those things myself either. Just know that I am here if you need a shoulder to cry on, a shoulder to laugh with, a shoulder to have a virtual drink like we did a few nights ago, or you just need advice and you need tips and you need strategies. Do not hesitate to reach out. That's what we're here for in the Shedding the Bitch community. All right. Lastly, let me see. I did write notes because once I realized I was going to be doing this online as well, I just wanted to make sure we cover everything. All right. Well, this is Shedding the Bitch Radio, and I broadcast every Tuesday at noon Eastern Time through the Blog Talk Radio platform. And so I may be expanding this as a opportunity to get this engagement and connection with you. But we've had some great programs. I've been doing this show since I published my book back in 2011. And we have a number of them up on our YouTube channel because typically I broadcast and videotape when I have a guest in the studio. But these days, I don't need a guest to be able to want to reach out and touch someone. But our past shows, especially recently, we've covered everything from finding calm in the storm. What I really wanted you to do is what we talked about the week earlier, and that is to shift your mindset from fear to concern. And the difference between that is fear, you can't think clearly, you can't think logically, you can't think comfortably. You need to be concerned, but concern then says to yourself, well, you know what? I need to go find solutions. I need to go find ideas. I need to go find resources. So you can actually get it out of your head in the emotional state, put it on a piece of paper in the logical state, and work through the problem and then solutions. So we talked about that. And then this has been a few weeks ago, but I wanted to bring her up again. And I actually may pull her in the next week or so because she only lives down the street. But I had 10-time best author, Catherine Carrigan. She's a medical intuitive healer. She came on a few weeks ago, back in February, to talk about her latest book, Reading the Soul. But I think it's really appropriate right now. If there's anything that you could be also doing and taking advantage of in this state of isolation, you could be looking at it as, well, this is a state of rest and calm and an opportunity for me to go inward and really learn about myself and learn about who I am, but really who I want to be. And so Catherine gave some great tips and advice in regards to that. Now, I also had posted that she was also offering her other book that I spoke to her and had her on the program last year, and that was the Little Book of Breath Work. Now, I know she was offering it free, and I apologize. I should have pulled the dates as to when she was offering that. But even if it's not free, go on to Amazon, look up Catherine Carrigan, and you'll find all of her books. But that breathwork book, I mentioned I did it last year when she always gifts me a book for having her on the program. She doesn't need to, but I appreciate it. And it was extremely beneficial. It was extremely worth it. And I continue to leverage some of those breathing exercises not only when I'm kind of panicked or anxious or stressed, but also when I just want a little mojo. And I recognize that I'm not breathing properly, efficiently to really be able to use all the energy that I have within myself. So take a look for that as well. We also had talked about emotional intelligence, and that also plays very nicely into right now, and the power of habits and routines, actually. And trust me when I say you need habits and routines right now. Now, that said, tomorrow, it just so happens that these are back to back, but tomorrow I'd already had been planning a time management hacks live stream masterclass. And this was one of the most popular sessions that I've done over the last, I would say, 8 or 10 years. And now I've incorporated some things that are very relevant for what everybody's dealing with today. And one of those things is what I call remote working management. So I have about 8 or 9 different tools, tips, strategies that I'm going to be discussing because we only have, a certain amount of time tomorrow at noon Eastern time. But I kind of switched up because I have about 30 actually, but I switched up a bunch to really be relevant to what you're doing right now. And one of those things, because I've had a number of phone calls, whether it's family members, friends, or colleagues, clients, potential clients, and they're having a hard time adjusting. They're not accustomed to working from home, let alone if they do have kids and other people within their house. But more so, not even the environment as much as a routine, a discipline. Not necessarily staying around in your robe all day long, so forth and so on. So noon Eastern time, we'll be doing that tomorrow. Now, it will live stream, so you'll have an opportunity to see it. However, if you want the workbook and you want a replay in case you can't be live at noon Eastern time tomorrow, then you have to register for the program, because I'm only providing the workbook and the replay to those that have registered. So the URL is really long, and so I didn't want to give you all that right now. So just go to my main profile page, or you can go to sheddingthebitch.com. You can go to my Bebo's author speaker page. Also, if you're a member of our Shift to Riches forum, you will also find the links in there to where you can go and register for this master class. It's free. But you have to register. Because it's free, you have to register in order to get the workbook and the replay. All right. And that's going to go through, like I said, 9 or 10 time management hacks in order for you to really get clear, focused, energized, unstuck, motivated, moving forward, doing what you need to do to make this time actually thrive for you. Not just survive. We don't want that. We want to thrive. And this is a great opportunity for those who take advantage of it. Great opportunity to grab that brass ring, get creative, and thrive through this period of time, and come out on the other side, maybe with a different job, maybe with a different career, maybe with a different way of going about living, so forth and so on. So make sure that you're registered for that as well. All right, so let's get back and let's talk about creative things that you could be doing. Now, if you're a regular listener to Shedding the Bitch radio every Tuesday at noon Eastern time, you could go to blogtalkradio.com and you can look it up. We always provide you a rich question. We want to ground you and your thinking and your thought process and your attention into a particular question that's relevant to the topic that we're talking about. So since we are talking about, what can I be doing with my skills and my talents and my experiences that I have, my hobbies, my passions, in order to supplement the lost wages? Or even, I want to find a new job because there are people hiring, and we'll talk about that, so forth and so on. So your rich question for today based on this subject is, and I always preach about journal and pen. Now, you are expecting that you're listening to this on a radio, but at the same time, you might be watching this. Scribble something down, whether it's now or later, and answer this question. What skill or talent do I have that I can use to create new sources of income, even multiple sources of income, through this time period? What skill or talent do I have that I can use to create a new source of income or multiple sources of income through this time period? All right. Now, if you are online and you want to tweet with us, Facebook with us, use hashtags Thrive, hashtag Success, or hashtag Shed the Bitch, which is our usual hashtag. And Deborah's out there and she'll be watching the threads and letting me know. I'm also online and in our chat room. So should you want to ask a question, raise up a challenge that you're having, you can do it in the chat section of the live stream if you're watching my smiley face. And thank you, Amy and Mary, for doing so. But if you are online, you could put it in the comment section. If you want to just go to Facebook and Twitter, our Shedding the Bitch pages, both on Facebook and Twitter, then we'll also see them there, and I'll be sure to respond to you once the program is done. At the same time, you can, I just drew a blank. Oh, you could call in to 1-818-572-2910 for the next 50 minutes or so, and we could talk directly. All right. So we're trying to provide you as many outlets to you getting some information as possible. Sound good? All right. Now, I do open the lines every once in a while because I do have people that will call in. They don't necessarily want to chat. They're just calling in to listen to the program. So there's no pressure, no sweat. Don't go hanging up. I'm not going to call you out. Um, and if you do want to talk and you don't necessarily want to share your name, share your information, that's fine too. The whole objective of Shedding the Bitch community is to provide you a source, myself and my whole network, that you can create the riches in life that you deserve. So that's what we're here for. All right. So I am going to open up the lines just so I can ensure that no one wants to ask a question right now. Does anybody have a question for me? And if not, we're going to keep moving. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Is this for women only? Is this for women only?
No. No. But I appreciate you joining in. Do you have a particular question?
Well, I was just kind of still listening a little bit to see
Okay.
exactly where you go and what you do, so I can say something. Maybe have something I would like to share, or maybe I'd like to know or something. But
Okay, then I'll just
I'm just kind of listening.
No, I'm so glad you're here with us. So no. Yes, men, women, dogs, pets. There's 2 pets in my studio with me right now. So I'll put you on mute just to kind of cut back the background. But if you have anything, just raise your hand and I'll come back and
Okay.
check in. All right. So let's get to it, shall we? All right. Now, we usually take breaks on radio, but we're not going to because of the fact that we are here live. And I just swiped the paper right in front of me. But I want to read something to you. This came across my Facebook feed the other day, and I think it's really appropriate for all of us right now. And once I do this, we'll shift into getting down and dirty about creative ways you could be turning your skills into riches, into income, into new passions, new careers, so forth and so on. But I thought this was just a great way for us to kind of ground our thinking, ground our attitudes and our mindsets. And if you know me at all, I preach to the point of exhaustion about the fact that everything has to do with your mindset. You could be skilled, talented, educated, uh, all those Greek terms, that they have in the academic world. But if you don't have a positive, confident, strong, empowered mindset, all of that will go to waste. So our job here is to ensure that we're shifting you. And for those of you that are new, like the gentleman who I just spoke to the program, to the community, bitches in our world, bitches in this community are our fears, negativities, doubts, insecurities that cause you to lash out on the world or even yourself. So those are the bitches. Riches are those skills, talents, qualities, traits that you possess that really make you the beautiful person that you are. So what we want to do here is shift you from bitch to rich, or shed your bitches so you can create riches. Okay? So that's what I want to do right now, is to shift your mindset. But this, unfortunately, there was no author to this what would I call this little story that I thought was really appropriate. And Aaron Robinson actually shared it out on my feed. Someone recently asked me what I'm telling people to help stay positive. Not my idea or words, but a beautiful positive reframe. Others have said this, but it's worth a reminder. When you go out and see the empty streets, the empty stadiums, the empty train platforms, don't say to yourself, it looks like the end of the world. What you're seeing is love in action. What you're seeing is that negative space is how much we do care for each other, for our grandparents, for our immune compromised brothers and sisters, for people we will never meet. People will lose their jobs over this. Some will lose their businesses, and some will lose their lives. All the more reason to take a moment when you're out on your walk or on your way to the shore or the store or just watching the news to look into the emptiness and marvel at all of that love. Let it fill you and sustain you. It isn't the end of the world. It is the most remarkable act of global solidarity we may ever witness. I just found that to be absolutely beautiful and absolutely kind of shook me to the core to say, you know what? Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. You know, when you do look at all that, when we do feel bored and isolated and whatnot, we're actually we may not have voluntarily done it, but we're doing it out of love to ensure that we all can support each other in moving this thing forward. So I just wanted to share that. And I will share it again on my main profile page on Facebook, Bernadette Bose, so you can share it as well. All right. Okay, let's get busy. Let's get busy. I want to talk about, the things that are still going on, things that are happening, and yet the things that you could be doing. Now, I will not sugarcoat the fact that millions and millions of people are losing their job, which means they're losing their income, which means that they could be losing their ability to take their medications or to feed themselves or to feed their children or to take care of their pets. They're losing the opportunities to get out and be social and be engaging, so forth and so on. So I'm not pretending that that's not real. Even this morning I heard that, unemployment could go to 30%. What I want to do is just say, okay, those are facts and information. That's great. But what can I be doing to lash on to this period of time and to turn it into my favor, turn it into an opportunity for growth? Because mankind's been through these things before and have come out the other side, depending upon the approach that you take to it, even better than before. All right, so that's what we want to do today. So I want to kind of share just some things that I've been finding, that I've been seeing, and then creative ideas that I have had. And like I said, even one of my nieces gave me, or I shared with her an idea, but it gave me the idea for this discussion. So companies are still finding opportunities to keep their people at work. Yes, they are sending them home. Hopefully, they're sending them home to work, or they're taking the precautions that are necessary in the workplace where they are. I learned the other day, I was talking to someone in the financial services industry, and he was still kind of going into work. But at the same time, what his management did was only allowed a certain number of people, to where whatever the office space size is, they are able to be not only 6 feet apart, but they're almost like hallways apart. Because there's some people that are necessary in order to continue even the online operations. But if you're finding that there are companies that are still keeping their people at work, okay, yet aren't taking the precautions and aren't taking care of the things that are necessary, then either you report it, you have a friend report it, do something to kind of provoke that organization to take the responsible steps to protect their people. All right, because if not, they're going to find their people are going to quit just from the fact that they want to take care of themselves and protect themselves. Okay, but companies are finding different ways to keep people busy, even if they're not able to do their core function of the business. They are getting very creative and saying, you know what, we haven't looked at certain procedures, certain standards, certain operations, certain initiatives, certain strategies we've wanted to over the last, number of years. So now, instead of you working on this, how about start working on that? And this is, again, quiet time for people to be able to look at things and say, what have we been neglecting or never gotten around to or didn't have the monies to invest in? What could we be doing instead? And therefore keeping people not only busy, because, people right now want money. They want their income. And so if companies, you owe it to your people that if you have an opportunity to get some work done and give them some work, even if it's new and different, then put them to work and pay them and go to the government for assistance if need be, but keep your people working. All right. Now, there are tons of people hiring. So if you need some suggestions there, this is what I have found. I have found that there are multiple segments of industry still, needing people. So even the Amazons, the warehousing, the product delivery services, UPS, USPS, your United States Postal Service, Amazon are still hiring people as drivers, as boxers, as the people in the warehouses, logistics overall, supply chain, logistics, manufacturing. Now, again, you want to ensure that the company that you might be seeking a job opportunity with is taking the precautions and taking the necessary steps to keep you protected. At the same time, however, they are hiring, and I want to say it was Amazon. Amazon's even raising their minimum wage to like $17 an hour. So there, that segment. The obviously the grocery stores or anybody that's delivering food, whether that's grocery type food or even meal prep food. They're hiring tens of thousands of people. McDonald's and Chick-fil-A and your local grocery stores, Aldi's and Albertsons are all reporting. Walmart are all reporting that they have to hire tens of thousands of people to now manage this new business model. Because and we'll get to that, because everyone's changing their business model. Whereas they were brick and mortar, now they're almost like sidewalk and car. You're not going inside, but they're able to either deliver it to you or you drive up and pick up as you go speeding by. A number of people have said to me, yes, Bernadette, I've actually picked up, whether it's prescriptions, food, groceries, or just any type of product, and it's literally you pay online. You pay an order online, and then your car comes up. You've given them the type of car that you had. This was my experience. The type of car you had, maybe even your license number, and you pull up, and they literally, you pull down the window, they throw it into you, and you continue to drive. So all of these changes to their business models are forcing new jobs. They need those people to go from inside the store, outside the store. They now need web designers, graphic designers, website maintenance people to actually build these new website portals and these new shopping carts and these new online environments. So if you have any talent or any desire to be in that arena, there are tons of people, hiring in those areas. Another one that I would have thought about immediately and yet didn't, is there are cleaning companies. Cleaning companies have a need for tens of thousands of people in order to go in and sanitize all these office buildings, these warehouses, these small and large businesses that have had to shut down. Yet at the same time, they're trying to get back, able to operate, and yet need to have a top to bottom sanitations, cleaning of their office building or warehouse. So cleaning companies, there was one on television here in Atlanta that was promoting bonuses and really good salaries for people who would come on and be part of their cleaning services teams. Now, of course, any city's essential services that is out there that are still operating, what the problem they're having is not keeping the people, or I'm sorry, is not the fact that their people are losing their jobs. Their people are quitting their jobs because of the risk that they don't want to bear by staying on. And this is going to go across all industries, but so don't think that, oh, well, wait a minute. So the postal office, the trash pickups, the government offices, the city offices, the officials, official offices, they are all protected. They don't have jobs. Well, yes, they do, because a lot of their people are actually quitting because of the fact they don't want to take the risk. So LinkedIn, if you go on to LinkedIn, and you consider the current job you have, and you go on LinkedIn and you look for job openings in your type of field, and look at the number of days of recent postings. You're going to find that it was yesterday or 5 days ago. It wasn't 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. Some industries are, because I played for about an hour on LinkedIn yesterday. Some industries certainly are not hiring for whatever reason, and probably, shouldn't be. But there's others, and there's a lot that are hiring still. And if they are finding ways to take you remotely, then they're going to continue hiring. There's no reason for them to stop. We need to continue operating as much as this world can. We still need an economy. We still need to be making money, making products, making services, so forth and so on. So go on to LinkedIn and even, start searching. And those of you who lost your job, I'm sure you have already. And that's where we're going to move into a subject around, what new things could you be doing? What different things could you be doing if your sector or your industry has pretty much shut down? Because I totally understand that some have. Of course, anything with home delivery services and construction crews. This I only thought about because there's a number of homes and the big hospital down the street being built here in Atlanta. And I thought to myself, I wonder if they're going to have to, tell the construction industry to halt. That would be a real bear on this hospital that we've been building for the last year and a half, 2 years. And someone, again, on the media, a head of construction, had said, no, we naturally are 6 feet apart. We naturally are socially distanced when we have crews out on our sites. And now we're just, ensuring that, that we put even more stringent restrictions and limitations and space policies into place, and sanitation and masks and gloves and whatever else. So construction sites are still not only maintaining, but they're actually growing and hiring, as long as, I guess, there's no mandate from at least at the federal level, government level, to stop construction. All right, so I mentioned LinkedIn, but there's also remote job sites if you're not familiar with them. And again, many of you who have lost your job, you're probably on there on a regular basis looking for new opportunities. But in case you haven't thought about it, the current skill, the current role, the type of job or function that you currently perform, verify that there aren't opportunities remotely. As a coach and consultant who was always on site, and whether that's for technology implementations, project managing, data modeling, into what I've done for the last 10 or 12 years, which is executive coaching and consulting. All my work went from having to be face-to-face to being on the phone or in an environment like this, remotely. So if you haven't, then I would strongly suggest that. But let me give you a few sites that you can go to specifically for remote jobs. Of course, you can go to Indeed and Monster and a number of those, and they have filters on the left-hand side that said, either virtual or remote or freelance. And you can certainly use those filters. But there are dedicated sites specifically for remote type of work. And those would be, and a number of that I've even used for my type of work. But those would be Upwork.com. Now, I spend a lot of time on Upwork.com. I've actually hired, I've hired a good dozen or so people through Upwork.com. They used to be called Elance.com, but Upwork.com. This is both a place for you to find work as well as to hire work. So I hired I hired a script writer coach. I've hired graphic artists. I've hired people to write blogs for me, so forth and so on. So obviously if you're a business owner and you no longer have certain employees, you can find people to do the work for you. However, if you have gotten creative and considered how you could take your current skill, talent, experience, and expertise and offer it for a fee, then that's where Upwork also can serve you very nicely. You put a profile out there, you write up what it is that you're able to do for them, and you know, come up with a fee that you would charge, and you can start getting I don't know that they call them gigs there. I'll mention Fiverr in a second, but you can start getting work. All right. But I just mentioned Fiverr. Fiverr is another place. I've probably had 800 plus gigs, as they call them, on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com. And Fiverr provides you an opportunity. Oh, I'm getting texts in regards to this subject. But Fiverr provides you opportunities as well. You could put a profile out there. And it's not just limited like it used to be to just creative. So it used to be people, graphic artists, you know, writers, painters, web designers, that kind of thing. Now there's a broad range of roles and skills that people are looking for and able to hire through Fiverr. So I would go to Fiverr.com, put a profile out there as well, and you could start finding work that way as well. But back to the remote. So Upwork.com. There's one called WorkEW.com. It's WorkEW.com, specifically for remote work. WorkEW.com. There's also FlexJobs.com, and I use this site a lot as well. So Upwork and FlexJobs, I use quite a bit. And again, you just go out there and you key in certain filters, and you know, and they do offer also kind of in corporate or in office type of work, but they also do have a great deal of remote work opportunities. All right. And another one is Airtasker. Airtasker, AIR Tasker.com. They allow people to post jobs or tasks for others in the community to complete. So that's more local. But take a look at Airtasker. All right. Now there's an article out there I wanted to mention. It's called 60 Best Remote Job Websites to Find a Remote Job in 2020. So again, you're Googling and searching and you're putting remote jobs listings out there, remote job sites out there. You might come across this article that was recently published, and it talks about the 60 best remote job websites. Now 60 is a lot, so just don't overwhelm. This isn't a time period for you to go into overwhelm. It's just a time period for you to kind of get out of your head and start getting creative and smart and productive around how you can earn some money. Okay, Deborah was saying that I hired her. Let me say that I hired her. Was it Upwork? Maybe it was elance.com. I don't think it was Fiverr. So yes, and I've worked with Deborah. Deborah's worked with me, 4 or 5 years now. So great opportunities are out there for both. She's a virtual assistant, and unfortunately, we're not running our commercials since we're broadcasting live on Facebook as well as on Blog Talk Radio. But so she, you know, she's with Parker Virtual Services, and I hired her, and she's been with me for 4 or 5 years now, and I love her. I love her. I'm going to go back to Blog Talk, see what's happening over there. Okay, so now what can you be doing to, let's see, I wanted to make sure. What are creative things that you could be doing based on your skills, talents, expertise, and experiences? Elance, 5 years, she just said. Okay, let's see. We talked about restaurants, small and large companies. Yep, furniture stores are still hiring face-to-face companies. Yes, so people are getting creative. So even face-to-face companies, everyone's going online. It's the only way to be able to operate if we can't go into an office for a meeting, or can't be, meeting at Starbucks for a prospect or for your client, so forth and so on. So everybody's going online in one way, shape, or form. It might be on a phone call, but if I was smart, between Zoom and Skype, I mean, they're just rocking it right now because everybody's moving on to these platforms. Facebook, Zoom, Skype, live stream are all just going to explode. And if you are in the software development and or are skilled enough to pull together, a team to do that, I can guarantee you there'll be more of these platforms popping up and being developed and being out there because those platforms are only going to be able to handle so much. Yes, they're going to be able to handle it, but with the glut, even Wi-Fi slowing down right now and cable, they're all having issues with the amount of people that are working from home. You probably have felt your systems slow down, if not go out completely. If you're in the software development business, you could be creating applications, you could be creating tools and technologies that fill a void or fill a gap right now, and put your talents in that direction. But let's talk about things that can be created. Well, this was interesting. This isn't creating actually, so I lied. We're going to continue for just a minute to talk about how you can, transfer your business or your skill to be able to still support yourself. So even hair colorists are offering, if you were to call your colorist, they may be able to say, you know what, I'll mix you up the bottle of your color, ladies. And you can come by and pick it up, but you're gonna you'll have to apply it yourself, and or get someone in your household to apply it for you. So on that note, my if she's online, I saw Teresa online earlier. On that note, my younger sister, Patricia, she has 5 kids. And of course, they're at home doing what they need to be doing. And so one of her daughters actually, I don't know that she picked up the color, but my sister ordered the color from her hairdresser, who said, yes, I'll mix your color. You can come pick it up and pay online, pick it up, and then you'll have to have somebody at home to do it. So they snapped photos and posted it on Facebook of my niece, my beautiful niece, Teresa, doing her hair. And it came out really, really well. Really, really well. So I'll be doing that shortly. Actually, I use that spray, but that's another story. All right. So colorists are, hairdressers and colorists are getting pretty savvy. Hairdressers, any of you with talents, if you're a baker, if you're a hairdresser, if you're a makeup artist, start a YouTube channel. Find products that maybe you can affiliate with. So if you're a colorist and say you use certain brands of color, if you're a hairdresser and you use certain shampoos and conditioners, reach out to those brand vendors, those manufacturers, and find out if there's a way that you can earn a commission or an affiliate fee for you selling them. And then go online and create a store. Build it around your brand, your personal brand, as that hairdresser, that colorist, that makeup artist, whoever it might be. And figure a way for you to be able to make money by selling products and or services that can be done virtually, such as if you're a interior designer. I use Modsy. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. Modsy is a interior design online application where you can go on, take pictures of your room or your multiple rooms, and then upload them. They configure a 3D diagram of your room, and then you can play with moving furniture and rugs and frames and whatnot into that room. So you can then they offer, even click on that couch and you can buy it. So think outside the box as to how you can transfer your skill, your talent online, and find ways to affiliate and align with products and services that you could be selling, despite the fact that you can't necessarily be cutting somebody's hair, or you can't be coloring someone's hair directly or putting someone's makeup on. If you're a cook or a baker of any kind, there's a lot of ingredients that you use when you bake, even when it comes to the type of tools that you use, your pans, your spatulas, You could tell I don't, your utensils. So potentially reach out to those manufacturers and say, hey, I'm going to start this, live stream YouTube channel, and I'm going to be baking and cooking, and I would love to promote your brand. And if so, I'd like a fee or an income for doing so. Now, on the opposite side of that, as you build your brand online, because trust me, there's going to be more influencers coming out of this situation than there's ever been. If you think you've been overwhelmed with influencers online, social media influencers online, it's going to just go gangbusters as a result of this, because people are going to be savvy. They're going to start creating an online presence, which creates an online brand of themselves and whatever it is that they do. And that way you can get, product ambassadors, you can get sponsors, advertisers, strategic alliances that pay you for promoting their brands and services. And they'll reach out to you versus right now, if you don't have a following, if you haven't been online, you need to reach out to them. So don't look at it as, well, I don't have a following. Look at it more like, okay, once I do, what will that generate? But there's things you could be doing right now as well to ensure, to also potentially get some income from brands and products and services that definitely want more voices and more clicks and more people out there touting their brand. CPAs, tax accountants, financial services, can all be online, supporting your client base or your new clients. Don't think that, oh no, I'm a coach, consultant, professional services person of any kind, and now I can't prospect and get new clients on board. Absolutely wrong thinking. Switch it. You can be building your client base and building your brand and your business and your income and your security and your confidence and your stability. Even if you have to be, within four walls of your home versus out in the world. Okay, so again, shift that mindset. Retail employees. I know many of you, they're downsizing or closing, and now you're out of work. You could be taking what you do there and putting it online. What do I mean by that? Well, I was in retail for many years, and if it were me and I had that talent still, I could be going online and offering my skill set as a consultant, skill set as a advisor, skill set as maybe you are a merchant and you're really good at merchandising all the fixtures and all the different departments of your store. And now you could be kind of creating maybe a wardrobe business or maybe a wardrobe consultation type of business, so forth and so on. So we all just need to kind of think outside of our sphere of influence and get very creative about it. I have a number of other things too, but let me see. So my niece, I mentioned her at the top of the hour, my beautiful niece, Ashley Murray. I'd also mentioned Teresa, so not to confuse you. I have 22 nieces and nephews. But my niece, Ashley Murray, she has been, I don't know for how long, maybe it's been about 6 months. She gets outside quite often with her boyfriend or her family members. And so she started this rock inspiration business, or it's not a business, but she's just started painting rocks with certain words or phrases or images. And when she goes out on her hikes or her walks, she strategically leaves them for people to find. And, and maybe they all of a sudden pop up and, she sees them on Facebook or whatever the case might be, but that's not her objective. She just does it to put a smile on someone's face. And she's been doing it for quite a while. She even several months ago put a Facebook post out saying, hey, give me 1 or 2 word statements, phrases or words, and, that I could be using for my rocks. And so she got hundreds of people giving her, a list of words or phrases that she could place on these rocks that she's finding, as she goes along. So she happened to post one the other day, and I said to her, I said, I bet you someone would pay you to create a rock and send it to someone that they're thinking about, or someone that they're missing, or someone that they love, or someone that they know needs kind of a smile, or lift of the heart and the soul. I bet someone would pay for that. Even my other sister got, unbeknownst to her that Ashley and I had this conversation, she goes out and says, "Oh, Ashley, I want one of these." So I just said to Ashley, I said, "Why don't you give it a shot?" People are looking for things right now, not only for themselves, but for others. And, they're willing to pay in order. Now, none of us need to be going out there and just trying to find quick trick, fast money type of situations. But she loves doing this. And she knows the reason why she does it. She knows that it's putting a smile on someone's face. So if there's a need out there, then fill it. Think outside the box, get creative, and consider that something that you love doing, one of your passions or your hobbies like hers, could actually translate into potential income for you. And not even more so than income, serve even more people. Serve even more people. And I can guarantee you, if she slipped one of those rocks into a box and send it out to somebody, for her newest customer, guarantee you that customer opens it up, or that recipient opens it up, and there is a huge smile and maybe even a tear brought onto her face. So consider that. Musicians are finding, and musicians always claim that they're starving artists, right? Writers do the same. So writers and musicians, they're all turning their talent into money. They're writing songs, using this downtime to write songs, and to then share it on platforms that are popping up. And selling their music, selling their stories, selling their articles, selling their inspirations. There's opportunities for people to, if you are creative and graphic artists, graphic design and whatnot, and you have inspiring phrases, inspiring thoughts, and inspiring messages that you want to share. You could be creating, photography or graphics that you can then post to sites that sell that for a price, license that for a price. About 5 years ago, you could go out on it, on Google, and pull down any image and use it for free, out anywhere, on your websites, anywhere. And then all of a sudden you notice that everything was being watermarked and or feed, because someone woke up and said, well, wait a minute, this is my talent. This is my skill. Therefore I should be paid for it. All right. We talked about software developers, right? If you're a software developer, boy, woo, is this a time for you? Teachers. Hey, if you're a teacher and your doors are now shut from being able to teach, take your skill, take your talent, take your experience and your expertise, create online courses, and put them out online for a fee. Now, if you were to Google right now online course platforms, they've been around now for a number of years, but I would say within the last 12 to 15 months, they've become very popular. Well, they're going to go gangbusters as well. So you teachers could, and keep it very, very niche-y, very small, very bite-size. But if you have a lot of, experience and expertise, just create a lot of little bite-sized things and put them online for a fee. So you could be looking into that if you are a teacher or any type of, individual with some skill and talent, expertise, or experience that other people, would want from you. Let's see, designers. Oh, this was interesting. I pulled this when I was doing some research for this topic. So there's a designer out there. He's a figure, an animator. He's an animator first, and then figurines. So he And I'm going to read you directly what it says. It says, the 40-year-old dad of two realized last summer he was one of many Star Wars fans in his community, but he never expected it to be a moneymaker. Matios uses his creative talents to construct smaller scaled replicas of famous Star Wars characters and ships, including stormtroopers and TIE fighters, and sells those models, ready for it, for $300 to $400 a piece. So all of a sudden, it was written that in a very short period of time, he was earning several $1,000s a month, turning his passion and hobby into income. If you're an assistant, if you were in an office as an executive assistant, administrative assistant, whatever you were doing, take it online. Like I said, I've been working with Deborah for 5 years. She's a virtual assistant. She's available for hiring. Let me know. And she learned, years ago that she has the opportunity to do that online. So you could put your talents, put your availability, put your skills out on any of those sites that I mentioned, like Upwork, Fiverr, and a number of others that you can find out there, and put a profile out there of the type of work that you do, and you can find yourself some freelance projects, freelance gigs, freelance engagements based on that. I mentioned with passions and hobbies around your, if you're a baker, a lot of people are baking right now, and, cooking. And if they wanted to, they could be finding ways to take that, create a YouTube channel, show, what they're baking or what they're cooking up, and reach out to those people with the ingredients and with the, brands and utensils and other things that are used to bake and cook. And they could find out if there's a way for them to earn some money as a result of it. So let's see, what else do we want to cover? Because I noticed we just have a couple minutes. Yeah, we only have a couple minutes. So get creative. You have skills, talents, experience, expertise. If you aren't sure of what those are, then let me know, and I can send you a list of questions that you could be asking yourself that can help you to discover that. Because that's what we do here. That's what we're all about. We're all about helping you to discover, confront, and shed the bitches, or the fears, insecurities, doubts, and negativities, the things that are not working for you. So then you can be clear and focused and energized around how you can then turn those into riches. And that's what we're all about here. All right. So, hello?
Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm encouraged.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You got me all enthusiastic, and I'm like, hey, I can't go nowhere though. And I'm thinking maybe she can help me. I'm thinking she can help me out a little bit.
Well, I'll tell you what.
But I'm just.
I'll tell you what, because we have about a minute and a half. But
90 seconds.
Yeah, just like I said. So let me mention this. Go to my main profile page on Facebook, register for tomorrow's noon event, and you don't have to be there live. It's going to be live streamed just like we're doing right now, as well as broadcasting right now. But just register, because with the registration, you'll get a workbook and the replay, which won't be available after it broadcasts tomorrow afternoon. So that is going to be all around time.
60 seconds.
That's going to be all around time management hacks. It's called Chaos to Clarity. It has been planned for months. I do this program for the last 10 years, but it's very relevant right now. So for any of you who are looking to find ways to be more productive, get a routine down, get clarity, get focused, get energized, get motivated, move forward, and thrive during this period, then go and register, and I'll look forward to having you right here tomorrow at noon on Facebook's main profile page, my main Bernadette Bose profile page, and we'll have some more fun and more opportunities for you guys to create riches in your life. All right, everybody? Until then, I will talk with you next Tuesday at noon Eastern Time for another episode of Shedding the Bitch Radio. Talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening listening to Shedding the Bitch Radio with Bernadette Bose. Join Bernadette every Tuesday at noon Eastern as she helps you shift your bitches to riches. And the dialogue is always going on at sheddingthebitch.com. See you next week.